Hey guys, it's Superstar0717. Real quick, I have a quick tech update and just a little discussion question for you guys about the Werewolf deck. So the two cards we're discussing today are Red Sun Zenith and Shrine of Burning Rage. I'm in a heated discussion on Magic the Gathering Salvation. I wouldn't call it heated, but there definitely are two different sides on this. I've played with Shrine since I started playing with the deck. I liked the card at the beginning, and as of late, it's been a real underperformer for me. I don't know, I mean, it's a great card against certain decks, but against other decks, you'd much rather have your Sun Zenith. Just a quick example. Well, let me just break down each card, why I believe they're good. And it's not necessarily a comparison between the two because they do different things, but since there are possibly two slots in the deck for either of these cards, and I do want to run them as a 2-ofs, I'm going to discuss why or why not, and I want to see you guys' feedback on that. So actually I'm going to start with Shrine first. So Shrine costs 2 mana to cast. It's an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep or whenever you cast a red spell, put a charge counter on it. For 3 mana and tapping it, you sack it and deal damage to target creature or player equal to the number of counters on Shrine. Now, Shrine is an amazing card in your opening 7. It's an amazing card off your top deck early game. Where it really fails to do much is late game, as if you top it turn 5 or 6, it's kind of dead, because at that point you're usually trying to swing for game with this deck. Against control, it gets countered turn 5 or 6 when you drop it. Against control, though, when you do drop it turn 1 or 2, it is amazing. It really puts them on a clock, and once it's on the board, they're not getting it off, and there's not really much they can do. Against Wolf Ramp, which is, in my opinion, the most popular deck, and the Green Wolf Ramp, excuse me, which is probably the most popular deck, it does alright, but in that regards, in that matchup, I'd much rather have Red Sun Zenith, because they do pack Beast Withins. They do have access to, I believe they have access to Ancient Grudge, because I think they tech in red. Against decks that run Chandra's Phoenix, it doesn't exile Chandra's Phoenix, so, you know, there you go. It does, however, in the mono-black matchup, get rid of Phyrexian Metamorph and Skill Tricks on their turn, which is amazing, because Skill Tricks with haste, before they can equip it, just tap, blow up, before they can equip it with Last Rite. In that aspect, it's a lot better in my opinion, because it is an artifact and you can just tap it on your opponent's turn, sack it. It's a good card. If you cast it early enough, it'll rack up those counters. But like I said, late game it stinks. And against the most popular matchup, or the most popular deck in the format, it doesn't do very well. Another matchup against tokens, green-white tokens. It's pretty much a sitting duck, and it forces you to not make your plays. For example, I drop this, and next turn I have the 3 mana, I do a land drop, and I can either drop Kroon's Outlaw, which is a good play, which I would do, but when I do that, I leave myself open to O-Ring, which is a very bad thing. And, you know, they're usually running 3 or 4 of those, along with their teched 1 or 2 Beast Withins. So this card really just is a sitting duck against that deck. And it really forces you to conserve your mana, which in turn makes you not make your regular plays, which in turn leaves you open to those huge, like, swing with 10 2/2 creature plays that they have. Another thing is, Shrine, you have to basically, let's say I have 7 counters on it, and they drop, like, a Crusader, I have to sack it to get rid of the Crusader. And none of that damage really, like, if I have 7 counters, I'm only doing 2 counters worth of damage. So, I mean, yeah, and, I mean, Phyrexian Crusaders is such a good card in this format, and it really screws this deck over, which isn't necessarily a bad play, but you really want to get... Okay, sorry about that, guys. But like I said, sacking this to get rid of a Phyrexian Crusader is not a bad play at all, no matter how many counters it has on it, because your deck really does little to no, doesn't run that many outs to that card. So like I said, let me just, quick summary, it ties up 3 of your mana, which isn't the best thing. It's bad off the top deck late game. It's a sitting duck against most decks in this format. I mean, you know, Oblivion Ring, Ancient Grudge, things like that. And it doesn't remove the card. I mean, you send it to the grave, but if I get rid of Wurmcoil, I still have to deal with the tokens. If I get rid of Chandra's Phoenix, I still have to deal with it later. And a lot of times you're not getting the most utility out of it. For example, I would want to get rid of a Stormkirk Noble as soon as possible, or a Champion of the Parish. And this card, you're really not getting the most utility out of it for what you've put into it. And I mean, yeah, you could just say, okay, well, I'm just going to deal the damage to the player, deal, 7 damage to the player, but you're still going to have to deal with this card that's going to snowball on you. It's a great card. I like it. And I really, this is why I'm asking you guys. I don't know what to run in this situation. It's good against, this card's good, but against pretty much every matchup except blue-black control, I'd rather have Red Sun Zenith. But once again, I want to know what you guys' thoughts on that are. So, okay, so sorry about that, the camera ended up falling. But I've only had probably about 6 or 7 matches with this card in the deck, as opposed to around 20 with Shrine in the main deck. But holy crap, this card is amazing. Pretty much against any deck not packing Mana Leak, this card is so good. Get rid of Chandra's Phoenix, get rid of your Wurmcoil, get rid of your Titan. Get rid of your Phantasmal Image, which is amazing because those Sun Titan, Phantasmal Image, copy Sun Titan, copy something else, maybe bring out a second one. I hate that play so much. Getting rid of flying infect creatures for 2 mana is ridiculous, even if you're only doing 1 damage to it, which is so good. The thing I don't like about it, against the mono black infect, it does not get rid of Phyrexian Crusader. But there's ways around that, not necessarily with this card, but I mean, that's why you have your side deck, obviously. This card is just so good. I mean, against Wolf Ramp, you're going to tap out and deal so much damage to them. I mean, you don't run Mana Ramp, but I mean, it's still a really good card. I mean, you have a lot of open mana that you can pump into this card, which is why you run Kessig Wolf Run, because you can tap out, 4 or 5 extra mana to give something trample and, run over stuff. This is the same idea, basically. You can, tap all your mana into this, drop it, shuffle it back into your deck if it doesn't get countered. It's just such a good card. Like, I was playing Mono Black Infect. I had it turn 1. He had a Necropede. Or actually, it was turn 2. He had a Necropede. I had nothing on the board because he made me sack my creature. Got rid of his Necropede, removed it, shuffled it back into the deck. Drew it again when he had the 1/1 that whenever it deals poison damage you can sack it to remove whatever, and he was tapped out, so I Red Sun Zenith it again, shuffled it back in the deck, and ended up drawing it off the top deck the turn before I won, and dealt 6 damage to him, putting him at 2, and then a turn later I top decked a Shock for game. So this card is, I mean, it would not be very playable if it didn't shuffle back into the deck, but the fact that it does is just so good. It's good early game when they have a Champion of the Parish out, tap 2, get rid of your champion. When they have a Stormkirk Noble, get rid of your Stormkirk Noble. Like I said, the only card that it really has trouble dealing with, that it doesn't deal with actually, is Phyrexian Crusader. If I were to tap the mana into it, I can remove a Wurmcoil and not have to worry about the tokens. I mean, it's just such a great card. I honestly like this more. People say that blue-black is pretty popular. It's pretty popular, but right now the numbers are showing that Green Wolf Ramp is the most popular deck, and Green Wolf Ramp runs 4 Beast Withins, which kill this card. Sorry about the glare. Kills Shrine, doesn't hurt Zenith, and for that reason I think this is just a better card. Once again, I would like to know what you guys' opinions. Let me just summarize this real quick. It's good early game. It's amazing late game. It's never dead when you top deck it. It's never dead when you top deck it. It removes stuff like Chandra's Firebird, which is so annoying because you have trouble dealing with flyers in this deck. It removes, Signal Path. It removes everything. Like, it's just so good right now. And the only deck, like I said, that it has trouble dealing with is blue-black control. But obviously you'll side it out. Shrine's better in that matchup. So I do bold proposal. I would like to run both of these in the main deck as 2-ofs. I want to know what you guys think about that, running 4 sorcery speeds spells in the deck. I was probably going to cut out my 2 shocks And just a quick update on that, I'm not running Shock anymore, I'm running Galvanic Blast. I do side in a bunch of artifacts, and why limit myself? I mean, if I can side in artifacts and I have the occasional Metalcraft going on, why not deal 1 damage, or 4 damage for 1 mana? So, you know, just techie. They both do the same thing, but Galvanic Blast, if once in a blue moon is better, who knows, it might win me a game every now and then. So this is my question to you guys. If you had 2 spots in your main deck, which would you put and why? And how many of which would you put? And also, what do you guys think about running 2 and 2, which is what I'm actually doing now, what I'll bring to my gathering later this week. So that's the question, guys, for this week. Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, be sure to thumbs up, and leave all your comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think about this argument. Because really, I'm actually really stumped about this. I think about this card choice a lot. And I just want to know what you other players think about it. You other werewolf players. I know there's not many of you guys, but if you guys wouldn't mind contributing to this thought, help me iron out my deck list, I'd really appreciate it. So thanks for watching, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe.